the anticipation.
Oh, well, good morning. I'm Jim Csek with Kelowna Now. We're here with Need to Know. Our quick little rundown. Big news probably coming tomorrow. We're expecting a half-point rate cut with the Bank of Canada. Now, remember, they was at 0.25, and then when Tiff Macklin says they weren't going to raise the rates in the foreseeable future, we raised them 19-fold. Many Canadians struggling with that now. We've cut it 3 times, 3.25 rate cuts. Tomorrow, we're expecting a 0.5 cut. That's what they did down in the U.S., so that would bring the Bank of Canada rate down to 3.75. I think that'll be better news for Canadians, Jason?
That'll bring some relief, and collectively, a fair bit, right?
Because every 0.25 rate cut on $1 million mortgages is, every 0.25 cut is $150 per $100,000 of the mortgage, right? A month, right? Mm-hmm. So there you go. A full percentage point is $10,000 a year on $1 million mortgage. So we've had 4.75 of those rate cuts. Think of that. That's $47,000 a year more in interest payments a year for mortgages. If you know the variable rates. So moving on, in the elections, we still don't have an answer. Kent went out and talked to Bryce Tippy yesterday. Right now, we have about 49,000 absentee ballots that still need to be counted. They're going to count them between October 26th and 28th. The NDP went into that election with 55 ridings with a comfortable majority, and the Conservative Party, I guess you could claim victory, right, with 45 seats and possibly 2 more when they finish that rate count. Little complications going on there, though, because even if the Conservatives get 47 seats, which is the majority, they have to name a Speaker of the House, although they could do what the NDP did. You could convince either an NDP or a Green person to take Speaker of the House, right, to keep their majority. So lots of different scenarios to play out. We're going to have Mario Canseco on at 9:30, so tune in for that. He's going to kind of go through a lot of these scenarios and talk about the polls and what to expect from those mail-in ballots as well. We got a little video from Kent went out and talked to Bryce Tippy because it looks like the Greens may have the hammer to swing again.
It was my first time running, and I got over 1,000 votes. That was pretty neat.
Yeah, it was neat. I like to avoid, making big predictions, but it seems to me absurd, almost impossible, that the Green Party would make any moves to position John Rustad as premier.
It's just craziness that, it ends up happening that more people end up voting for a candidate that didn't win than did win.
We've got 49,000 absentee mail-in ballots, et cetera, to count. 2 recounts, and the ones that were 100 votes away or 23 votes away in that Gulf Islands one.
Oh, it was so much fun. I mean, I didn't have a lot of time. I really wish that I had 6 months like everybody else. I only had a month and a half. And trying to build a team in that time was very difficult. But I had lots of fun, and I was able to test out my expertise.
So that was a highlight reel from the interview Kent did with him. You can go to Kelowna Now to see that full interview. That was Bryce Tippy, a candidate for the Kelowna Centre riding that he ran against Loyal and Dr. Humer. So, and Christina Lowen. That's currently in the lead in that riding. Also, there's a story on Kelowna Now with ex-leader from the BC Green Party, excuse me, Andrew Weaver. And he thinks that a minority deal with the NDP is less likely this time as opposed to when he made that deal in 2017 because Sonia Furstenau is at odds with Dave Eby a lot more. But again, they don't even have a leader right now because she did not win her seat. So lots of complication in this thing. We'll talk a lot more about this when we have Mario Canseco on at 9:30. Interesting, don't you think, Jason?
Yeah, and we're looking for Elections Canada to bring us the recount by basically the end of this coming up weekend.
That's correct, yeah, October 26th to 28th. Moving on, we have a job growth story here. In the last 4 years, almost exclusively the job growth is in the public sector. That's not a good sign if we're showing all this job growth in the government. I would say that we need to find some job growth in the private sector. I think growing the government to a lot of people seems like less opportunity for most people, right? So moving on, the inflation rate is down to 1.6%. Many are beginning to wonder what it'll mean for their financial futures. We're having a tough time. Canadians are having a tough time out there, which leads to a lot more people considering secondhand stuff. There's a story out there that's saying that they're secondhand is the new normal. If you can repurpose, reuse, and even gift it. Pre-owned products in the last 12 months seen a great job. 3/4 of British Columbians have purchased pre-owned products in the last 72 months. Sorry, 12 months. Wow. That's pretty cool.
Right?
Right?
Well, yeah, it's good for the environment when you can upcycle and get extra life out of something too, right?
And in our AI piece, we've got something cool. I think most people have probably seen this on the internet, but I thought it'd be worth playing again. Jason's got can you play that video? Oh, Jason's giving me that strange look that he's not ready.
Yeah, no, this is just a screenshot.
Oh yeah, is there any chance you can play that video while I keep rambling here?
I don't know that it came in with this package.
It's in a link there.
Oh, and a link.
There's a link there for you to play that video.
Well, you can try.
There you go. Yeah, the election thing is still the big story, though. The election, still the big story in British Columbia because we don't know the answer. And hopefully we'll know the answer sooner than later. And we may see another election here right away, depending on what's going on. Jason's shaking his head, though.
I don't see
right?
it. There's no link.
There's a link. There's a link.
Email
See, we're gonna.
email too.
It's in the document.
Don't have the document.
There he doesn't.
The document. That's somewhere.
There you go. I was going to show you that, but I guess we're not going to show you that. So that's all we have. But 9:30, we're going to have Mario Canseco on, and we're going to talk about the election mostly and what to expect in those 49,000 mail-in ballots.
And in the meantime, we'll get to the bottom of this missing document.
And that's all we have today on Need to Know. I'm Jim Csek with Kelowna Now.